I don't own a gun. Never have I. I won't need one. That's the point. Because if that was the way to your freedom, we'd never be free. That's the whole point. So all I'm trying to say is that, you know, if you were truthfully bold and godly, then you would be taking some type of action, right, in this world to make it a better place than when you found it, because you would have had the DNA with God within you. At some point, you've allowed your DNA to become not like a man or a woman, but of an animal. And so, you know, your spiritual practice is a reflection of that. A lot of people don't realize that. So instead of sacrificing themselves, they started sacrificing other animals. For questions, comments, and to show your support, visit us on the web at afroempath.com. That's the thing. I was just kind of to segue into a lot of this Orisha stuff. Like, I don't know why black people. It's like I guess they have allowed for white people to like completely like write them out of history. You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like they don't, and I'm not saying all black people. A lot of black people are not that stupid, but there's a lot of black people that like they don't want to I think what it is, maybe they're just not part. Maybe they're just not part of our bloodline. But I think some of them are. How could you not be? In America, we're all mixed up so much. You know what I'm trying to say?
They are. They just don't.
They're probably just stupid. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't know that you don't know that your ancestors were fucking Muslims and they were Christians and that they were Hebrews and that they were, you know what I'm trying to say, ancient Egyptians, etc. Now they might deal with the ancient Egypt stuff, but they don't. It's like in I guess like intellectually they see the connection between ancient Egypt and Christianity and etc. You know what I'm saying, or maybe Islam. You know what I'm saying, but they cannot. They're too afraid to read the Bible. They're too afraid to read the Quran. They're, you know what I'm saying, or the Torah, etc. I guess they're just afraid.
I think they're waiting for white people to tell them to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
To do it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
If a white person tells, it's like the doctor.
Yeah.
My mom, like, if the doctor tells her to do something, she's so quick to do it. But if somebody else says to do something, she doesn't trust it.
It's crazy.
You know?
It's crazy. I'm gonna have to agree with you there, because I was speaking to that sister and she was telling me that she goes to she pays money out of her own pocket to speak to a European therapist, you know what I'm trying to say, or coach, or whatever. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You know what I'm trying to say? She probably needs someone to speak to, you know, and that can help her, guide her. But the point is that I'm at least, you know,
we'll get it free.
Yeah, shit, I was giving it to her for free. Now I'm doing a lot better work than she could have ever done. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm doing things in 2 days that it would have took that lady 2 years to do, if not more. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm doing some deep, you know, cleansing of her heart, you know. But it's like, and in private she asked me if we could read the Bible and things like that. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, and I mean, for me, it's like I'm not just some dumbass Christian. So it's not about just reading the Bible. It's about understanding Gnostic thought. You know what I'm trying to say? Understanding why, you know, why the Bible says what it says, and you know what I'm trying to say, understanding the overall concept of it. The concept of it comes out of Kemet or Egypt, meaning that go ahead.
People don't want to go that deep.
They don't. And
the general people, they don't really care to go that. I don't know why, but they seem happy with what they got. Because
what it is at some point, what Gnostic thought, I'll just say, right? Which really comes out of ancient Egypt. What it's really about, truthfully, what it's really about, is that this world that we're living in and we're all frustrated about and we're, you know, giving a fuck about, you know what I'm trying to say, and we're all afraid to lose our bodies in, right? Because I mean, if globally we outnumber white people like probably like what, 10 to 1. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
If so, obviously, what it is when it comes down to it is that, like Bobby Hemmett once said, survival is the ultimate religion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is the ultimate religion. So people you can say that, yeah, this is a matrix, but if you're afraid to die in it, then, well, if you're afraid to die in a dream, you know what I'm saying? You can't die here. Who you are is not your body. You know what I'm trying to say? Who you are is not your body. So, I mean, what I think what it is that, unfortunately, you know, black people have lots of demons that they'd be forced to acknowledge by dealing with by hearing certain texts and being initiated into certain thoughts of their ancestors, right? And so it's easier to just go into some wishy-washy bullshit. And it needs to be talked about, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like,
it does,
because I'm saying that a lot of black people would rather overlook their own fucking history, right? As if it's non-African because they bought into the white Jesus bullshit, right? And and I'm saying literally all white people have to do apparently is to put their faces on our stuff. They paint themselves as white Egyptians. They can paint themselves as white Hebrews. They can paint. You know what I'm trying to say? So all white people have to do is paint themselves as us, and that's enough for black people to fucking be stupid.
Yep.
You know what I'm trying to say? And believe whatever lies they push down their throat. And so then I'm saying what I'm realizing now, and I could be wrong, and hopefully I am wrong. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm uneducated in this regard, and I'm hoping to be educated. But as far as I can, and this is what Brother Bobby Hemmett was saying, and Brother Panic was saying, and I respect them as two highly intelligent and well versed occultists. That this Orisha energy is part of the demiurge.
I want to ask you this now, because you mentioned this, the Orishas are part of the demiurge.
Yes.
Now, a lot of these brothers walk around, they want to tap into the Orishas.
Yes.
So are you saying the Orishas are on our side?
Yeah, let me give you a brief history of that. You got Olodumare, who is this father, who is supposed to be the father, but he's more of a father of the astral plane. Legba, Ogun, Obatala, Shango have their hands on creating the earth. They shut Oshun out a little bit, but they have their hands on creating the earth. And in the concept of that, there's some pre-creation deities that are in opposition for them creating the earth. It's the same biblical story of let me give you an example. The biblical story of Satan and his spawn saying, we're not going to bow down to man. You see what I'm saying? And God saying, you need to bow down to man. It's really a deeper story than that. We just get the edited myth, but if you get a greater mythology that the Jews have our stuff. There's a book by the name of Rappaport. It's called The Legends of Israel, and in there they have an extended version of this thing. And you find out in actuality this is a cosmic drama that's being played between Satan and his angels and stuff. And the reason why they didn't want to bow down to man in this particular thing is it's a greater story. They didn't want to become man, so it was rejecting becoming into a physical body. So bowing down was, get used to it, humble yourself, and be our slaves. But Satan just remembered, no, we're not that. We gods of light. Right. But they had to get used to this particular physical body. Well, it's the same thing happened in this Orisha myth. The one you want to get is a book called Good and Evil. What's the name of this thing? It's called Good and Evil in Europe or something. I've said it on some other thing. It's a book by a guy that's dead now by the name of Margie. And in there they talk about this struggle between these gods that don't want to be in the human form, and they go to battle with Legba and his crew who created this particular earth for them to be into. And as a result, Legba and them ultimately wins. It's the same story, which makes Legba and them these demiurge type characters. They are Olympian deities. So if you want to get a better clarity, you compare this with the Titan story, or the Titans not wanting to be cast down, but Zeus strikes them with an arrow and burn them up and then use their ashes to make man. You see what I'm saying? Those Titans are pristine deities that rule the universe prior to the younger group of deities who are subordinate deities that want to create this box job wonder world for themselves by using the older material to trap them down in this thing. So it's the same thing, it's the same demiurge material. I would say so there's several myths, but one of them would be the Titan myth. You see, one would be the Gnostic myth and all, and even the Egyptian myth in the coffin text. In the coffin text, they talk about Ra being old and feeble. He invites all the gods to dinner and swallows them all up. So when he said, how can he swallow all the gods up? It's the same story of basically taking these advanced entities, inviting them to dinner, and eating them up, which means in actuality he trapped them into the realm of the physical and slowed down the vibration rate or the vibratory rate to trap these gods in the physical. The demiurge of these particular beings have lost their foothold on the earth, and the only thing they're doing at this particular time is they're surviving through the ignorance of the people. So these people are doing mass rituals, not just Orishas, but to the Christian aspect and the worship aspect of religions and through religions, because even that Yoruba thing has become a religion. They're doing all these mass worships and stuff, and in so many words, they're giving the demiurge their energy by keeping the demiurge alive, because the demiurge can only survive through the image or through the thoughts of man. In this case, the lower thoughts of man. So in so many words, the demiurge is nothing but forms of ego that's outside of the body.
This is what they said in that video there.
Yeah, I watched it. I listened to it.
Meaning what they're saying is that these Orishas, whatever, these are like Earth creators. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. I don't know anything about the Orishas. Do you know anything about them? I
don't know anything, but okay. I know people, like I've met people that were into them.
How is their energy?
Dark. Like I didn't even tell you about a lady that I worked with years ago from Guyana. Mm-hmm. And she used to come, every time when she would come around me, I would feel like a bad, like a negative vibe coming off of her. And she was kind of like, where she would like giggle, that kind of a weird giggle.
Yeah, it's nasty, witchy, demonic laugh.
Yeah. And then she would always bring food from home and give it to me. Like we'd be sitting at lunch and she would give me the food. And I'm like, why you didn't bring for everybody else, you know? Like, and then I spoke to somebody about her, and they told me to be careful of her. Like, they're like, don't eat anything she gives you. Don't watch your bag around her. Because I didn't know anything about that. And when I told my mom just got scared. And she didn't say it. She just said, oh, that's not good. Like, stay away from her, and that's it. So I was like, I wasn't raised in that kind of thing, but I found out after that she was into all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. And see, some people that are into all of that stuff, they don't use it for good. They use it. And another thing, too, is she had a son, too, that was disabled. Mm-hmm. He was born where he can't walk or do anything. And he was grown. And somebody else told us that she did something to some woman back home, and the woman did something back to her, and her son was born like that. And all that shit, it scared the shit out of me, and I was like, I don't want her around me. And the more I would stay away from her, the more upset she got. She didn't like that I was like going away from her. It's like she had some kind of like creepy thing she wanted to be around me.
Yeah, your energy. So, you're an empath. She wanted that love energy.
Well, at that time, I didn't know, and it was like, oh my goodness. So that's the closest I've been around somebody that was into that stuff, and to me, it's kind of dark.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I'm
not
new.
All the time. Not all the time.
It's not all the time. Because I've met some decent Puerto Rican sisters that their energy wasn't fucked up like that. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing with demons, right? They like, and as empaths, we feel their presence, right? But it's like there's nothing that they're doing necessarily. If you're not really keen on how demons, how people that are demonically possessed act or operate, you know what I'm saying?
They're usually doing something good that appears good.
Yeah, exactly. That appears good. But what they're seeking is energy and attention. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So they're well, they think they're slick. They're not slicker than my fucking ass.
No, especially for feelers, people that can feel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you were saying earlier, and I have to agree with you, a lot of our people, they are cowards. They don't want to admit it. And like you said, they will not, it's like they're waiting for white people to tell them, oh yeah, oh sorry about that. We painted the Messiah, we painted your Messiah as a white person.
Yeah, they're waiting for
like they're waiting for white people to tell them that. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like they don't want to look into the Bible. They don't want to look into the Torah. They don't want to look into the Quran. They don't want to look into anything relating to Gnostic thought or things that or civilizations that came after ancient Egypt. And what I've realized is a lot of these quote unquote people that come in these empath groups that are all into this Orisha shit, they say they're empaths, and I'm not saying they don't have some empathic ability, but what it is a lot of times is their empathic ability comes from the demons that possess them. Because demons are intelligent too, and they can feel energy of those people who have strong souls, and of course they want to suck off those and kill them so they can survive. Because like if what Bobby Hemmett is saying is true, and these Orishas are part of the demiurge, meaning they are the creators. Anytime you see a god that is a creator of the world, this world is hell. This world is a place to entrap your soul. Christ is supposed to get you the fuck out of here and destroy this bitch. So if you're rocking with anybody who's a creator of the world, that's the devil. That's the fucking devil. And in the Bible, it's confusing because the Bible came, you know, the church as Christianity began to be, how to put it, like institutionalized. You know what I'm trying to say? There was disagreements between different schools of thought. You know what I'm trying to say? And so what we're calling Gnosticism really is just Christianity. Meaning the Gnostics didn't call themselves Gnostics. They called themselves Christians. You know what I'm trying to say? There's different sects. But what happened was the sects that were like, no, you need to find God on your own. Those were the sects that were like, no, fuck that. Get that shit out of here. We're not putting that in our, you know, we're not going to canonize that stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? Because there would be no need for organized religion. You know what I'm trying to say? And to be honest, I feel that there is a need for organized religion because people are fucking stupid. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying?
There is. At first I didn't think so, but no, there's an
absolute fucking need. Fuck that. There's a need for that shit because the majority of people on Earth are fucking stupid. And that's just a matter of fact. I don't give a fuck. Everybody, every occultist knows that and will say that. What I'm saying is that a lot of times the quote unquote the God in the Bible, the one that's all like I'm gonna put it like, trying to give an example of God in the Bible that would be like the demiurge, meaning that if God, they put God in the Bible as the creator of the world. You know what I'm trying to say? So, but that's not entirely true, because in the Garden of Eden, right, it contradicts that, because in the Garden of Eden, God was saying, don't enter the worlds. You know what I'm trying to say? Does that make sense? Meaning, we're in the Garden of Eden. It's symbolic for a place before we had bodies of flesh, correct? So meaning that it was symbolic of a place of perfection where there was no good and evil. There's no good and evil. There was no duality. You know what I'm trying to say? There was right. And there's one tree called the tree of knowledge of good and evil, right?
Yes.
So meaning that when we ate of the apple and we fell, right, and we became clothes and flesh, that's symbolic of us entering this universe or the world, right? So if God in the Garden of Eden, how could that be? If there's God in the Garden of Eden telling you not to enter the world and not to eat of that fruit and that you'll know the knowledge of good and evil, why would you then? How could then God be the God that created the world in 7 days or whatever? You know what I'm trying to say? Does that make sense? Have you ever thought about that?
I never thought of that.
Yeah, that's the point. So meaning that Gnostic.
But wasn't it more than one God?
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Meaning that's the whole point. Meaning that the demiurge is not just one God. You know what I'm trying to say?
No. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the whole point. Meaning that the God in the Bible, meaning it may have it, meaning that at some point people didn't understand Gnostic thought, right? So they might have been worshiping the demiurge, right? Because you see what I'm trying to say? Bobby Hemmett has a thing called "What if God was the devil?" A lecture called "What if God was the devil?"
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
But what it's trying to say is basically like people began to be stupid, and they began to not understand that the soul is trapped within inside them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that what Christ is coming is to do is to end this world and free their souls, but they forgot that God is not something that is over them, telling them what to do. You know what I'm trying to say? That God is within them, right? And they forgot that this world itself is a byproduct of a lesser deity or a lesser group of deities, right? That created it so they could be like God. Or like God, but you know what I'm trying to say? But to do that, they gave up their right for to live eternally. And so, like, the God in the Bible is a bit confusing. You know what I'm trying to say? Because so this whole Yahweh thing, like, I could be wrong, but what I've heard is that whole Yahweh thing, or Elohim, which is plural for multiple deities or gods, that may actually be the demiurge. Does that make sense?
And that's the Jew.
So it's a bit confusing. Yeah. So I mean, I could be wrong, but it
sounds like that for them to be acting the way that they act.
Yeah, exactly. Bingo.
Following him, you can't be good. You can't be good.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of confusion going on. I mean, the thing is, like, these names and things like that are names that are given to represent certain energies. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's all a bit confusing, but at the end of the day, all you have to know is no matter what the fuck you're calling it, you know what I'm trying to say? Whether you're calling it even the term Lucifer is confusing too, because there's people that are Luciferians that are not like the Christian Lucifer is like the demiurge. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
But the Lucifer that the Luciferians are speaking about is like Prometheus or Christ. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know.
So it's really confusing. So there's a lot.
That's why this world is all inside out.
No shit. Exactly. So it's very confusing. You know, that's why. So it's like, ultimately, all you have to fucking know is that the divine spark, which is your soul, is trapped within you. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. And that this world was created by a lesser group of beings, right? Whose job is to keep this world operating in fear, and keep your souls entrapped. And that the God that the Christians and the Muslims are supposed to be worshiping, or the Hebrews are supposed to be worshiping, right? Or bringing online, is the seed of God within themselves, or the soul, or the hidden light, or the hidden sun, or Amen, meaning hidden, Ra, light or sun or soul, within themselves, which comes online, which is prophesied to come online via a man or a child called Christ or Horus, who is the fully developed potential of the seed of God within man. Right? That we're all connected by our souls, but this one human being brings his soul online in the dream. Right? And through that, he helps end this world and creates a way back to eternity and a new heaven where there is no more free will, that then there never will have to be another matrix ever. And you understand that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had to lay it out. So I look forward to having some people that are into this Orisha thing come on this podcast, so I can talk to them about this, and so they can help me understand how it applies to Gnostic thought and to Judeo-Christian understanding, right?
But you know how hard that would be to change somebody's perception.
I'm not trying to change the perception.
No, okay, not change, but Well, okay, you're trying to help them see.
I'm not trying to help them see. I don't
what
care
it
about
is.
that shit. I'm not here to convince anybody shit. Here's the thing. I don't need to convince anybody because guess what? I have the power of God within me now, and I have more power than any of these goddamn, meaning I don't need no goddamn motherfucker outside of myself for anything. So there's no point in convincing anybody shit. Does that make sense? I don't need to convince anybody shit.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do when it comes to...
I'm trying to understand their religion and their point of view. So I can understand how it coincides with my own purpose and my mission. Meaning, are they trying to get their souls out of this world and back to heaven, or do they are they just want to, have big African angry egos? Does that make sense?
I think sometimes people just hold on to what little they have. That's what they have. And it goes back generations, so they hold on to it.
Egos?
I know the whole Orisha thing.
Well, yeah. What they have in this world is this world's an illusion, so there's nothing to hold on to here.
I know, but
something
outside of everything else.
Yeah. The only thing to hold on to is your soul, right? That's the only thing real here to hold on to. Right?
Yeah, but most people aren't taught that.
Oh, I don't. Here's the thing, though. I don't care. At some point, meaning if you really want to get the fuck out of this world, it's not like what we're doing here is not.
When I'm saying this to you, it's not me.
No, I understand that.
I'm not talking about me.
Yeah, you're speaking for the general population. I understand that, but at the same time, this is not for everybody.
Because I've had bickers between people.
Yeah.
And I end up getting tight and stressed out with a lot of things.
No.
So that's why I'm trying to say to you.
No, I'm not stressed out about it. My whole thing is I'm trying to I don't know. So meaning I would rather not go on the record judging an entire religious or spiritual system, right? That I'm not well versed in, and I've met people that are really demonic from it, and I've met people that have good energy from it. So I'm trying to understand. Right? Because guess what? Within Christianity, there's all kinds of fucked up, nasty fucking people. Most of them are demonic and worship the demiurge. Right? Right? But there's a small sect of people that understand that God is a black man. Right? And even within that, there's some people that are whacked out. I love Farrakhan, but he thinks that goddamn spaceships are coming sometimes. So there's some. So I'm saying within Muslims, they have division within Muslims. Right? Right?
Yeah.
So there's good Muslims and there's fucked up Muslims that are also demonic. Right? So my whole thing is I'd like to speak to people so there can be dialogue, so there can be understanding. That's all. Right?
Okay.
I know who I am is not going to change. It's going to maybe be further enlightened. Right? But at the end of the day, I still have a force field coming to the palm of my hand right now. That shit ain't going to change no matter what words are used. You know what I'm trying to say? So it don't matter. I have real power. If I didn't, demonic entities wouldn't have to fucking try to fuck with me. You know what I'm trying to say? That's the whole point. That's the whole point. They're only attracted to you as an empath because you have something that they want that they don't have. That makes sense? So yeah, I'm in control. I'm in control. Fuck that.
What are you gonna do when people come at you and with the whole Orisha belief and they don't want to hear, or what are you gonna do when you come, because you said you want to understand it?
Yeah, I'm gonna listen.
But you sounded like you got all upset. So I'm like wondering why are you upset about it?
I'm not upset. I'm just saying that I'm listening to understand. Meaning that I have core principles, right? Those principles are not going to change. I'm trying to understand where they fall into those core principles, whether they do or whether they don't. That's all. Okay,
so you just want to, but I think your voice went up because you were probably thinking that they can't break your belief that you have right now on the whole subject. So
it's not a belief. I'm past belief, and I'm past faith.
Yeah,
I'm in a state of fruition, meaning that I am becoming what I know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know.
I'm becoming. Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, my whole point is that there's nothing when you know yourself, right? And you know God, God's in your heart. You know what I'm trying to say? And God is a force in your life. Meaning God, what God is a force. You know, the whole Star Wars thing, they say the force. God is a force, right? So I have the force, so I don't give a, meaning that it's not going to matter what people say, meaning they're either going to explain to me how what they're doing helps my cause, or they're useless. That's it. That's pretty much it. That may be hard for people to hear. You know what I'm trying to say? It may be hard for them to understand because they're thinking that they have demonic power, but what they don't realize is that all this rage and all this angry energy that they carry, you know what I'm trying to say? All this demonic energy that they carry, right? They're still angry about an illusion.
Yeah.
Meaning they haven't done the inner work to get past that, right? Meaning that at the end of the day, here's how you get past that. Here's how you get past you know, because a lot of these people, and you should be angry at white people and things like that, right? Trust me, you should be. But here's how you get past that. You need to take action and do something. Most of these people don't do any fucking thing, meaning they never give their lives to be free. Does that make sense? I mean, if you're a woman, okay, I understand that, but still, even a woman can give her life. Harriet Tubman was a woman. Harriet Tubman gave her fucking life and took a gun, just like a man. A woman can carry a gun too, right?
Most people are freaking scared now.
Most people are pussies, exactly.
We haven't been put into situations that bad in these generations here.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Like,
that's exactly it.
Like, I don't know.
So that's a thing. Like, you know, the Black Panthers had women that if need be would carry a gun and revolutionaries. So I'm saying, like, you know, I get the whole 5 phase thing: one, knowledge, action. You know, everything, like Christ is the and Christ, meaning a revolutionary black Messiah who fights for his people to be free from the Romans. There's 5 steps. Knowledge, he knows something's fucked up in the world. Action, meaning he goes and says, "No, I'm the fucking king of the Jews." You know what I'm trying to say? This is why you're gonna not do the fuck you're doing, because I'm here to free my people on the behalf of God, you know, my Father, right? So meaning that these people that you meet, none of them have ever done that take the action phase. You know what I'm trying to say? They've never done that. You know what I'm trying to say? They're not willing to fight their oppressor. All they want to do is be angry, meaning do something. See, I was smart enough to know that I was going to win this war through violence, so I used law. But at the same time, I wasn't afraid to give my life. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why these people are not that deep. Because you have to, in order to become like God, you have to be willing to give your fucking life up. It's that simple. You can't say this is a dream and talk about magic.
People are scared. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
You can't even talk about stuff like that.
That's the point. That's the point. Meaning I know these people are cowards, so I'm not impressed by them. I'm not impressed by them. I'm not impressed by them. I'm not impressed by Christians that are cowards and worship the white man vicariously through Christ. Right? I'm not impressed by these Yoruba motherfuckers who are also cowards, and white people have fucked them over or whatever. Good. Do something about it. Do something about it. Stop being a fucking victim and using magic. You know what I'm trying to say? You cannot be godlike or Christ-like if you're not willing to give your life. So magic, I didn't come into this as trying to be a magician or an occultist. You know what I'm trying to say? My will was to be free. And that's God's will to be free. And that's why in the Bible, all the stories of the heroes were men who were willing to sacrifice their life, not sacrifice a fucking chicken or a goat. You fucking cowards. Sacrifice your own fucking life, you pussy. You know what I'm trying to say?
I don't believe in those sacrifices.
But that's what that's the whole point, though. It's not about sacrificing a chicken or a goat. Sacrifice your own fucking life. You know what I'm trying to say? That's the difference. Yeah. That's the difference between religions of men and religions of cowards. Right?
Yeah.
The Bible talks about men willing to sacrifice their own lives. Right? Those are true tests. And that's the whole point. That's why there's in terms of and we've gone through hell in America. All of our heroes, all of our leaders, they've been men of faith, haven't they? Faith in one man, one black man, one single black man, one single black man, not energies outside themselves or energies, one single black man with a soul. That's it. So again, you're either riding with that or you're not getting the fuck out of here. So it's your choice. You need to prove to me that you're in service to this cause. Outside of that, I'm not impressed. I'll listen to you, but you're boring. You're a coward. I know it. You know it. But you get the point.
Yeah.
And you agree.
If it's me and you talking one-on-one, honestly, I'll tell you, what you're saying is right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, look at what happened to that guy. Like the same guy, that Cosmo guy, he believed the same thing, and he went out there and they gunned him down, but he went out with a bang. Like he had his gear and everything, and he did what he had to do.
Good. This was an illusion. So guess what? He's in heaven.
And that's
and here you are talking scared. No,
but I'm just saying that.
I'm not here to rule I'm not here to win this world. I'm not here to go to war with this world in a physical way. Right? I'm not saying do that. Now if you would
okay, but when you talk like that, especially now, because remember now they have their eyes and ears are open right now.
Correct.
Because they're trying to get rid of anybody that's talking to
I understand
what
that.
they may say is radical and stuff like that.
Correct,
so you have to watch it.
No, I understand that. Yeah,
they won't understand what you mean. You know, they're not thinking you meaning.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
No, the whole point, right, of Christ. This is the story of Christ. Mm-hmm. This is the story of Christ in the Bible. Okay, the Bible is the most spread and publicized book in the history of maybe of the history of Earth, right? Mm-hmm. In that book, you tell me if I'm wrong, right? Christ goes over and violently flips over the money of the money changers, right? He goes into temples with a sword. Does he not? Mm-hmm. A sword, right? Swords are there to kill people. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so he may have had blood in that sword. He may have used that sword.
Most Christians don't like to entertain that.
Well, it doesn't matter. I don't care what Christians like to hear. It's what's written. Meaning I know that. Black people, we're not a race of pussies. You know what I'm trying to say? We're a race of men and women of God. Right?
That's how we were supposed to be, but somebody manipulated it.
Correct. Exactly. We were made to be animals, in cowardly animals. Right?
They use that Chris Angel and that other. They use that kind of stuff, that sorcery stuff, and
that ain't.
They used it right on black people.
What they did was they whipped our asses until we fucking became like animals, and we became fear based. That's what they did.
Yeah, and they used wording and all kinds of
things. Of course. Again, our souls went to sleep, so it's not like there's some there were some amazing ass magicians. We were just going to sleep.
It's not that we're any bad people or this is the end of us or anything like that. This is just for a time. That's all.
This is
this confusion here, this thing.
It's coming to an end along with this world, But the point
okay, go.
The point I'm trying to make is that Christ was a violent person, right? Mm-hmm. We can all agree on that, right? The point is that he realized himself that that's not the way, right? He realized himself that that's not the way. That's not the way, right? And that he learned faith in a new way of doing things, right? Mm-hmm. After he came off the cross and was risen again, he wasn't going around in the temples doing all that crazy ass shit. He wasn't going to flip around money changers tables. He said, "You know what? This world is not my home. I'm not here to overthrow the world or overthrow Caesar or I'm here to get us out of here." Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the point. That's the whole point. Is that if you really do care, you would have been a revolutionary already. You would have been willing to give your life. That doesn't mean give your life in a violent way as a woman, especially. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm saying be willing to give your life in service to God. You know what I'm trying to say? We've already had people that have men and women that have been willing to give their life. We have Black Panthers. They're willing to give their life, right? Malcolm X was willing to give his life. And guess what? He carried a gun, didn't he not? Did he not? Mm-hmm. White people carry guns all goddamn day. A lot of them kill black men for no reason, right? Okay. That doesn't I don't own a gun. Never have I. I won't need one. That's the point. Because if that was the way to your freedom, we'd never be free. That's the whole point. So all I'm trying to say is that, you know, if you were truthfully bold and godly, then you would be taking some type of action, right? In this world to make it a better place than when you found it, because you would have had the DNA with God within you. At some point, you've allowed your DNA to become not like a man or a woman, but of an animal. And so, you know, your spiritual practice is a reflection of that. You know what I'm trying to say? That's all I'm trying to say. A lot of people don't realize that. So instead of sacrificing themselves, they started sacrificing other animals. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, you know, I could be wrong here, and I'm willing to understand more. But me personally, me being a person that has been willing to sacrifice his life, I'm trying to understand how other religious systems work. And at the end of the day, I think we're going to find out what power was the greatest, though. You know what I'm saying? Whether the soul was the greatest, or whether the spirit of animal blood was the greatest. At some point, we're going to figure that out, won't we? You know, I might not share this with the world, but between me and you know that, right? Yeah. Exactly. That's pretty much it.
Well, for me, I feel like I'm just like a person sitting in a like an auditorium, and I'm just watching all the religions play out. I never ever went towards any of it. I just like to watch.
But in your heart of hearts, you've always known what was true.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
And you keep getting reinforcement.
Bingo.
Along.
Exactly. Yeah. That's for me. When I was a kid, I always knew that God was real. This whole Christ thing or Jesus thing, I didn't know if it was real or not. But I just put that aside, right? And I said I don't know if this whole Jesus thing is real, but I know that God's real, because I know I can feel it in my heart, right? But what happened is I became Christ, so I didn't have to believe in it.
Real or not, he stands for something good.
I didn't have to. The point is that I didn't have to believe in Christ, because I became that. I became that.
Yeah.
That's the point. I became that.
But people don't know how to become. They don't know,
because
how to
they're cowards, and they would rather worship something outside themselves than to become that which is the potential. Right?
And that's why this world is the way it is, because everybody's looking outside.
Correct. Outside. Bingo. That's exactly it. And like,
that's what makes me angry someties.
It doesn't make me angry, but the point is that I'm not going to speak to people. Yeah, and but doesn't make it brings up some righteous anger and righteousness within me. My whole thing is that, like, I was speaking to a sister yesterday about prayer. You know what I'm trying to say? And for me, like, I can understand prayer, but I don't pray anymore, because what am I praying to other than myself? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I can just meditate. You know, I prayed one time when I was in jail before I submitted to my own soul, which is God. And that prayer was more of a promise to stop being stupid, and to learn to go about things in a new way. That I wasn't going to win this thing by running up in front of the judge and telling them that I'm a Moor and that this is my land. You know what I'm trying to say? Of course, they fucking know that. They don't have to. What do you think they're gonna do? You know, give up their entire fucking kingdom? For one nigga that knows the truth? No, they're not. But here's the thing: they don't have any honor. But I kept my honor, right? And I had that seed of God within me. And because I honored myself and honored God, the angels fought for me and with me. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? And God, and
that's how it's supposed to be.
Bingo, that's exactly it. And so I became what I knew. I became what I knew. That's the whole point. Meaning, when you know that you're right, you do what you're supposed to do, because it's right. It's the right thing to do. Right? For the sake of others, because I knew that I wasn't going to allow my children to come into a world that's fucked up. As a man, if I can't fight for my people, then there's nothing for me to live for. Yeah. I might as well cut off my fucking balls and kill myself.
Yeah. Oh God.
You know what I'm trying to say? And that's what most black men have done. They've by giving up on their goddamn children and their women, they've cut off their own balls. But really, they've cut off their own soul and their own connection with God. They're walking around here lifeless and shiftless. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's obvious. And it's obvious. That's pretty much it. So, do I feel sorry for them? Shit, they could have felt sorry for me, but unfortunately, because they're such cowards, they rather oppress me. Someone who came. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, listen to this though.
Yeah.
You see how you came to the conclusion as a child. I came to the conclusion as a child. Why do you think other people didn't come to the conclusion as a child?
Because as empaths, you're an empath, right? I'm an empath.
Yeah.
Meaning we are born through things we've done in past lives, right? We are born with our heart chakras open, meaning that the seed of God is already in our hearts.
So is it wrong that they didn't find, like, put two and two together?
Yes, it is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong.
Why is it wrong if they didn't understand how to do it?
All right, so I'll put it to you this way.
Sometimes I'm wondering if these people...
It's wrong because listen, I'm going to tell you a very simple phrase, and you're going to either agree with me or disagree with me, okay? The phrase is, well, two phrases. One, where there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is, within God, all things are possible. Do you agree with those phrases or disagree with those phrases?
Yeah.
Do you agree with those phrases? Okay, so do you believe that human beings have free will?
Well, I would think, like, I would think that everybody, like, see, this is the thing.
Imani, just
used
answer
to
the
think
question.
No, but listen, I used to think that everybody thought the same way that I thought. I remember back in the day, I used to think that. And I learned the hard way that everybody's thinking their own way. So I don't know if everybody else is getting free will or not. Sometimes I wonder.
I'm not saying whether they're getting free will. You mean getting free will?
Or not getting, but
I'm asking, do they have free will from?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I only know myself. Sometimes I wonder if everybody has free will or not.
Everybody has free. I'm going to let you know. Everybody has free will, meaning that there is no God that is up in the clouds that tells us no, you can't do that, and yes, you can do this. Meaning you're on Earth, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but you're indoctrinated as soon as you get here, right? So you're told what to think. So a lot of times when people tell you what
free will to not believe that.
You do.
And
I knew that. But sometimes I wonder if other people do.
They give into it. They give into again, they don't, the path, they take the path of least resistance.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. And so,
some people do that and some people don't, it looks like.
But they chose to give their will to the enemy, to the devil, the demiurge.
But they didn't know that. I don't think they knew.
No. It's not about whether they know it or not. You have a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, right? Your subconscious mind knows everything. Your subconscious mind knows everything. You know what I'm trying to say? I'll put it this way. Even as a child, I knew I was going to be something important. You know what I'm trying to say? Even as a child, I knew I was different, right? Than other people. I still had that intelligence. I didn't know how I knew it, but I still knew it, right?
You know, yeah.
Exactly. So in their subconscious minds, they know they're pussies. That's why I can look at black men walking down the street and they don't want to look me in the eye. Why? Because they know they've given up on God, and they know that God is within me, and they know they've given up on me. Does that make sense? Do you know that? Do you not?
Well, I guess it's true.
What do you mean you're an empath? You haven't felt that?
I feel it, yeah.
Okay.
I feel that.
At some point,
I have that sometimes too, like when I want to, when there's a girl walking towards me and I'm walking to her, I want to be pleasant and say hello, and she'll look away before she reaches. And I'm like, why? Like, we're two black female here.
Yeah, but what makes you a black female, and what makes us who we are? What you're really saying is we're two Israelite females, right? We're two daughters of Zion, right? And guess what? She gave up on Zion. She gave up on God. She's become like a Gentile. It says in the Bible, don't become like the Gentiles. She's become like the Gentiles.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. This is about eternity. It's not supposed to be easy for people. This is not supposed to be easy for people. This is for eternity. Eternity. This is not supposed to be easy for people. Following God is not supposed to be easy for people. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. You had a choice to be down here. Everybody has a choice to be down here. We could have stayed in heaven, so there's no point in feeling sorry for them. They should feel sorry for you because you haven't given up. It's a lot harder to keep your soul than it is to give it away, isn't it? So that's pretty much it. Meaning these people don't even feel. They've given up on feeling. So don't worry about them. They don't even care. They don't even feel anymore. You know what I'm trying to say?
That's true,
We still feel. The only thing they care about is maybe their little Matrix baby. That's all they want is a little Matrix baby. You know, you can easily you can fall prey to ignorance of other people and accept it as if it's okay. And if fear is a ruling force in your life, then already, you know what I'm trying to say, that's something, and you're not actively working to fight it, then you've given into it, right? That means you've given into your demons, right? The same way the empaths are intelligent, the people who rule us are also intelligent, and their demons are intelligent too, and they have the same type of sensory perceptors that we have, because fear is also an intelligence, just like love is. Does that make sense?
My mom used to always say, "The devil is strong," and I used to say, "No, he's not." I would get mad at her. This is when I was a kid.
Yeah.
The devil is strong. I hated when she said it, but it was just like an old-time Jamaican saying.
No, it's true.
I don't know.
It's true because you know why the devil is strong? The devil's weakening now, but the point is that with the demiurge, right? The reason why the demiurge is strong is because for so long this world has been fear-based, right?
Yeah.
The thing is that one single human being is enough to destroy this devil's entire universe. And that's the whole story of Christ, right? Take the example of King Herod, right? He kills all these young boys, some of them not even born, for one man, one baby, one baby. Do you see the power of that?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, the devil might be strong in the lives of other people, but not for me. I've given up everything.
Well, when she used to say it, I used to take it as, "You're giving him power. Don't say it out loud."
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Oh, you're so cute.
It would make me mad when she would say it, and it was just a saying. Like she wasn't saying it, like, you know.
Yeah.
Funny. When I think of it now as a grown-up, I understand why she was saying it. Yeah. And I still understand why I was saying, "No, don't say that."
Yeah, but it doesn't. At the end of the day, what the quote unquote devil, the demiurge is weakening. You know, they're getting desperate. You know, they're getting desperate, so they're using all types of new trickery. You know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. You just need to see for what it is. You know, and the key is with us is we need to stop tolerating shit as empaths. Yeah. You know, because when you tolerate it, then you allow it in your life. You allow it to grow. Do you want to go to heaven, or how fast do you want to get to heaven? That's on you. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
How fast do you want to experience heaven on earth? In the meanwhile, it's up to you too.
People are tapping into all kinds of things nowadays.
Yeah, other than their own souls.
Yeah, and they don't know what the hell they're tapping into.
Yeah, but this is. I remember listening to Bobby Hemmett. You know, this is after he had got out of all this occult stuff. Well, I mean, he's still in it, obviously, but I mean that this is when he had his stroke. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And he was talking about he's like fuck the gods. You know what I'm saying? He's like fuck. He's like talking about power. And he basically talks about the only real power that I ever had to tap into is the power of my own soul. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, and that's it. Only thing he was talking about other than that, he's talking about that. He talked about calling it upon the archangel Michael. And his own soul. Yeah. That's about it. That's the only thing he talked about at the end there. You know, during his last the last couple of interviews he gave. You know. Yeah. You could pull it up. He's speaking to either Brother Bannock or Aline Bay or some shit. But at the end of the day, your own soul is really going to be the only thing that's really going to be your soul. That's God within you. All the shit outside you. These are things that you at one point when you were stronger maybe created. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So there's no point in tapping into anything outside of the true power, which is eternal. So
I knew that, and then I heard Phil Valentine break it down one time, and yes, that's how I feel. That's how I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's only a few people out here in this world that, there are lots of good men of faith and women of faith, you know what I'm trying to say, that are out here in the world, you know, but a lot of them are on a belief level, right? And that's okay. At least they're believing in something that is keeping them safe. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But and you know, at the same time, I speak about, Christians being cowardly. To be honest, I realize now that I've become what I know. That, in the Bible it talks about, meaning it talks about unnecessary suffering. You know what I'm trying to say? Meaning just be patient and wait for me. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't go off and try and fight the Romans. You know what I'm trying to say? Meaning I'm going to be able to do this shit for you. You know what I'm saying? Because meaning in the same way that I know who I am and always knew who I was, the same way you always knew who you were. The same way people that are not born with enlightenment already ingrained in their heart know that they don't have the power for that. Truthfully, you know what I'm trying to say? But then you meet some people that want to try and get power because they feel weak, and they look outside themselves, and what they're gaining is demonic entities, right?
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, and it's time to get rid of those demons, a lot of people, they're not ready to get rid of those demons yet. You know what I'm trying to say? And the sister Black Ether was talking about that with the sister that she was trying to help out in terms of getting rid of her demons. Every time the practitioners tried to get rid of those demons for her, something would come up, or something would happen where the demons always made it to that sister would not be there to have that environment happen that's conducive to get that out of her. Does that make sense? So that's the thing. Like, no, I'm not. And I told the sister before, and you heard me. I said, I'm not going to fight you, meaning I'm not going to fight your demons. You know what I'm trying to say?
No.
I'm not going to. Like, if that little girl wants to take my hand and I'll help her, I'll be her support. So she doesn't need to have demons anymore. And I will be there with her. But that little girl is humble. The demons that possess her are not humble. Right? So that's a conflict. And I'm not going to fight those demons. That little girl within her had to be stronger. And I would have been her strength, and I was her strength. But she decided that she wanted to try and play me. You know what I'm trying to say? She wanted to try and play me.
She backed away too soon. She should have heard you out.
She wanted to, yeah. But the thing is that everybody has two selves, a higher self and a lower self, right? Her lower self, or her demonic self, right? Her fear-based self, it wanted to play me and use me. Sometimes there's a saying, right? Don't take my kindness for weakness.
Yeah. And
a lot of times that's what happens with these demonic people. Is they'll take your kindness and look at it as if it was a weakness. I know it because I see it all the time, especially with black people, especially with black people, because we have so many demons, and we think that people that are tough are people that are loud and boisterous. These loud, boisterous, loudmouth niggas out here in the street. You know what I'm trying to say? When they meet someone that's humble and has true strength and true power, they hate those type people, because they hate themselves and they've given up on God, and you are a reflection of God, and they're finally having to see themselves in the mirror. That's painful to see how pathetic you've become. Speaking of my brother right now, my older brother, another dude he's wrestling with his own demons, smokes weed to fucking to an absorbent amount to suppress his own God spark. So I mean,
he doesn't do any, like when he smokes. Does he do anything creative, or
he smokes weed to suppress his inner child. He's a coward.
So he can't talk to you. Like you guys can't have conversations.
He's a coward. He's a coward. He's not a man. He's a boy. He's a coward. He's a nigger. He's a good nigger. Is what he is. Absolute good nigger.
When you say good nigger, what do you mean? Like
meaning he's a good nigger. Meaning he's the kind of guy that he'll punch his own brother over a video game on Thanksgiving in front of his wife and his 3 younger children and the dog. Right?
He punched you?
Correct. Over a video game on Thanksgiving, yeah? And
over a video game.
yeah, over losing a Street Fighter. Yeah, I wish I was kidding with you. Yeah.
Wow.
But that kind of guy that'll treat his people that look like him like shit. Yeah. But we'll speak to white people. But we'll speak to white people as if they're God and treat them with kindness and respect.
I don't like that.
That's the kind of niggers I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's lots of them.
Lots of them, yeah.
Have you ever been around the white guys that act like that? Because I know
they act like that because they can't act like that. They have white privilege.
Like the ones with the teeth, the gold teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you see that in your environment or no?
Not particularly. I mean, I'm sure it happens.
But you know them.
I'm sure it's possible, yeah. But I don't give a fuck about them. I'm not. You know what I'm trying to say? Meaning that it's what
they have them here. They have them here.
Yeah, but guess what? Well, the thing is, they have white privilege, so they can do that. And if they wanted to, they can go put on a tie and act however they want to act.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have white privilege, so we don't have the chance to be fucking around like acting like fucking boys. We need to learn how to be men. They can't be men, even if as a white person, you know what I'm trying to say, only way you're ever going to be a man as a white person is to serve God, and most of them can never serve God because they never can come to the conclusion that God is a black man, and that black people are God's children. That would have to humble them, and they have a hard time doing that, being humble.
Do your two brothers are they close?
My younger brother, my younger brother, and my older brother, are they close?
Yeah.
No, my older brother's a nigger, and my younger brother is a bit of a tom, but at least he doesn't. At least he's respectful, right? Mm-hmm. And he doesn't treat me like shit, right? And he's not gonna. And he's not a hyper emotional fucking pussy. You know what I'm trying to say? Now he might think in his he might be, like, I'll put it this way, and he is like a reliable white person. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now I'm not going to be talking about some deep ass black power shit with him, but at least he's not going to be wearing gold teeth and punching me over a video game.
Oh no.
Yes, correct.
You are surrounded by
yes
4 examples of black people.
Welcome to black. No, you're living in Canada. Welcome to Black America. And what I experience is not even the half of it. Trust me. It only gets worse.
I've seen glimpses of it, but I don't know what it's like.
This is the belly of the fucking beast.
Wow.
This is the belly of the fucking beast. There's all types of sicknesses. To be a strong man here is very, very difficult.
And you're the middle child. That's like me. Middle child absorbs everything. Everything.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And then I got my little half-ass confused sister, half black, half white. Confused sister. Absolutely.
Oh no. You're surrounded by craziness.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
The little half-beat princess.
Oh God. No.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. She used to get these books. We used to have this really nice, sweet Irish couple that used to come over and bring her these books that were about black achievement and all these black greatness and things like that. And she'd be like, "What are these black? Why do they always bring me these black books?" Yeah, she called them black books. She just tossed them aside.
Black book.
Yeah,
and you were sitting there.
Yes. She's the kind of girl that, as she grew up, she would like to see what she looked like with blue eye contacts on.
Oh, I can't stand that. Oh, I hate that.
Yes. So yes.
I can't. Oh no.
Yes.
You're surrounded. You have every version of it.
When I went to fucking jail, being locked up for being some Moorish revolutionary or black revolutionary, she called me a nigger and a terrorist when I got out. A nigger and a terrorist. Correct. She was demonically possessed as well. Yeah. So trust me.
You have all the different ranges.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And my mother's worshiping white Jesus on a or going to a church with white Jesus on a Saturday. Yeah. Trust me, I am surrounded.
Well, she orchestrated it. She
came from a family where her father was a fucking molester and a rapist. So yeah. Yeah, you know.
And if your dad is black and your dad raped,
try to molest her, yeah, at least, yeah, correct.
Or try to molest you, it might turn you off of blackness.
Yeah, I can see that. I can understand that. I can understand that. I can understand that. I'm not.
Or just men in general, and then
I can understand that. But the whole point is that I'm trying to tell you is that I've come from a sick environment. So meaning
that's bad. And
correct.
Like for you to be talking how you talk,
yes,
you don't sound like you come from that.
No shit.
You sound like you just come from like a preppy home. You nothing like what you say.
Yeah, well, I didn't grow up. Even though we had our black sicknesses, we still grew up around white people, and I still had a decent education. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And we still grew up like lower middle class. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
For the most part. So I mean,
but to have siblings like that, like on all sides, everywhere you turn,
yes,
you have to deal with it. If you turn to the left,
but
right,
it's okay. This is what I was supposed to be. This is what I was put here to do. Right?
Yeah.
I needed to come into a sick family so I can be the change that I wish to see in the world. Because my family.
Now I understand why you have so much anger and you're easy to call like black people nigger or bitch and stuff like that.
Yeah, because they are. Meaning
like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like we don't use those words over here. So when you hear somebody saying it, it's like, oh my God, oh. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's really, if you were around me, you would be like, wow, you don't even swear. You over here, people don't say that. You don't call people nigger.
Well, some of us actually are. Fuck that. Some of us actually are.
I get it. And in that case, I probably would have been the same if I was in that type of thing.
Yeah,
surrounded by that.
Yeah, at some point you have to in order to grow, in order to be evolved spiritually, you have to actually look at harsh truths within your own people. You know what I'm trying to say? Like again, it's easy to look at white people and know they're savages, right? But to look at your own people and see the savagery and the sickness within them is sometimes a little bit hard for black people because we have egos. We have egos built around black, strong black, and no, fuck that. No.
Yeah.
You're not strong and black. Most people that think they're strong and black are not strong and black. The only way to be strong is to serve God 100%. That's why these niggas are in church worshiping Jesus. Because if they were strong, they wouldn't need to. They wouldn't need to. Now, to become that yourself, that's real strength.
Yeah.
That's real strength. Do you think Christ is impressed by black people?
Nope.
Thank you. Nor am I. Nor am I.
I don't think black people are impressed by themselves.
Exactly, but that's the whole point. You cannot be Christ-like and be impressed by black people. It's not possible. Christ was by his own people, hated by his own fucking people, put to death by their enemy and his enemy by his own. So no, he might have asked forgiveness for his own people, but he certainly doesn't. Like I mean, you think he'll look at them with like some kind of admiration? Hell no. Forgive these people for they know not what they do. If you or anyone you know would be interested in spiritual life coaching from a fellow empath, email afroempath@gmail.com or visit afroempath.com for more information.